Okay, so we're in a position here now to finish the end view and finish this drawing off, or at least finish the first three parts of it. The true shape of this surface here is something we'll come back to in class. So looking in at our end view, which is where we are here, if I look in this way, I see that edge there. Carry that line across, which is the front part of my lawnmower. And again, I have done a 3D SolidWorks drawn in the folder, in the Schoology folder. If you just follow the link, you'll find it, and it'll give you a tree. You can have it bouncing around and spinning around in the background. It gives you a bit of help visualizing what's happening. Now, what I've done here is I've labeled these edges here. I've called them A, B, C, D, and then I've carried those labelings up onto the front of my elevation. A, B, C, D. Now really, I probably should have labelled them on this side. Actually, I should have labelled them on this side because that's quite a bit of a mistake, but that won't affect us too much. Really, those letters I have here are on the far side of the lawnmower. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to draw the body of the lawnmower. Okay, this bit here can be a bit tricky, which is why I've just what was why I've labeled them. What we're actually doing here is we're taking one point at a time and finding the point in elevation, showing it in plan, and using our 45-degree line, we're carrying that point to draw it in our end view. Okay, I might not just have emphasized how important it is when we're setting up our end view that we carry down that line and carry the line across in the plan, and the 45-degree line goes through the intersection of those two lines. It's not necessarily 45 degrees off the corner of elevation, although it can be. If it was, it would mean that our end view would be the same distance away from our elevation as our plan is. But just in case it doesn't work out, what we need to be doing is watching that the line we start our end view is lining up with the line we start our plan, and our 45-degree line goes through that. Okay. Anyway, let's get on with our drawing. So if we take point A is here in elevation. So I'm going to carry point A across. Okay, so point A goes across like that. Here is A in plan. Carry that across to our 45-degree line. It strikes it here. We'll just write in our A. Make sure just put it in red so we can see it a bit clearer. And then we're going to bounce it upwards. Okay. It goes up. So where the two of them meet, that gives us the position of A here. Now, there's also this point here. So if we carry that one across there, that'll give us the position of our mark on this side. So if I just put a little red dot there like that. Now, what about point B? Well, A is connected to B, right? So point B is here in elevation. If I carry B across, it goes across there like that. B in my plan, carry it across my 45-degree line and carry it up. And where they meet is here. So there's B. There's my line going up there. Just drawing it here, indexing it here on the 45-degree line, and it goes up to here like that. There is B. And then the same on the far side. So here is B here. Okay. So B is connected to C. So where is point C? Well, point C is carried up into our elevation. From our elevation, we carry it across into our plan. Here is C in plan, carried across to our 45-degree line. It's on the same line as B, and we carry it up vertically. Where they coincide is here, which is C. And we can also do that on the far side as well. Okay, and then our last point here is D. D is carried up into our elevation. It's carried across this way. D is carried across here, so it's A and D is on that line there. Sorry, I didn't put in B and C is there. So D is carried up, D is carried across. Where they meet is here. and we also have a point there on that side there. So there's our points carried around. All I need to do now is decide what's what and what's getting joined up and what's not. So on the front of our lawnmower, that line there gets carried straight on up. So I'm looking back to my exam papers. That goes straight up there. Okay. Now, A joins to B, B joins to C, and C joins to D. Okay. And on this side here, I did the very same. Now, I could have gone A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, but it just gets a bit messy because we've got a lot of points to carry up here as well, so I just said I'd leave them off. Now the last thing, as I look in here, I'm going to see that edge there. So that line gets continued down there like that. So that's the edge of that portion there. That's that surface there. Actually, it's on that side. So there and there appears on this side, which is here, and this side, which is on the far side. Okay, now that's our points for the body of our lawnmower. Now the next thing we need to do is have a look at this cylinder. So looking at it in plan, as I look in from the side here, I'm going to see that cylinder. I'm going to see it as a square, but the problem is, or as a rectangle, but I don't see it as a rectangle because at the bottom, because it's cut at the bottom. So that cylinder turns, if that was just running the whole way down to the ground, I'd look in at the side and I'd see it's just a rectangle. It would appear as a rectangle at my end view, but because it's cut at an angle, I can see that curve, and it's not a circular curve, it's an elliptical curve that was going to go from around here. So what I need to start doing is taking our points across. I've gone from 0 to 11 to 12 the whole way around. So what I'm going to do is carry 0 into my elevation. So here is 0. Here. I carry 0 across to my 45-degree line there, which gives me a point there. I have my 0 here in elevation, and I carry it across there. So 0 goes across here, and 0 goes up this way. That gives me a point right there. But also, as I'm looking in at the front, looking into my plan here, 6 is on the same line as 0. So not only is 0 on that line, 6 is on that line. So you get 6, 0. That goes across there. You get 0 on this side, and you get 6 on that side. Okay, so there are 2 points, and that would form the major axis of my ellipse if I was going to draw it that way. So now I've done 0. Now I'm doing 1. So if I look in 1, I carry that line up there. I have 5 and 1 at that point. I carry 5 and 1 across here, and I bring 5 and 1 to my 45-degree line. So there is 1. Here is 5. Carry those lines into my end view. Okay, now I might just do one of these heavy and one of these in red so that we can see what's happening. So here's 5 and 1. Carry that line into my elevation. There's 5 and 1 there. Now it's coinciding with another point, but that's fine. Right? So now I carry that 5 and 1 across. Okay, goes across there like that. Now I'm only doing it in red so you can see it. And then I take, from my plan, I take 1 across, and I take 5 across to my 45-degree line. And I carry with my set square that line up there, and I carry with my set square the 5 up here. Now where those 2 lines meet, so I went there, and I went there. So here's 1. 1 comes up to here, and it runs across. 1 runs across there, and the 2 of them meet at that point there. So there's 1. Okay, what about 5? 5 comes up to that there, up to that surface there, right? It carries across, 5 comes across here, the two of them coincide there, that's 5. Okay, so that's how those points are done, and we need to continue that for 2 and 3. So, sorry, 4 and 2, 3, and 4. So as I'm looking into my plan, this 4 and 2 line up, and that line gets carried up to the surface. So that becomes 4 and 2 there. That line can get carried across into my end view. Okay. 4 and 2 can get carried across to my 45-degree line. Okay, and just to help me, I'm just going to put in 2 there. And I'm going to put in 4 here. Now I can carry up 2. So there's 2. And here is 2 traveling across here. There is point 2. Okay. What about 4? Carry 4 up. So 4 and 4 from my elevation. There is point 4 there. Now I'm back out here now to 3. 3 gets carried up into my elevation, which brings me to that point there. 3 gets carried across to my 45-degree line, which gives me that point there. Carry it up into my elevation, carry it up into my end view, carry it across from my elevation to my end view. That gives me point 3 there. Now that line will continue the whole way around the back. Okay, so I need to continue. I can continue carrying those points from 7, 8, 9, 10 the whole way around, and what that will give me is a dotted line at the back. It gives me the hidden detail at the back. Okay, so that's something you can go around and do yourself. You should show that hidden detail in. Now, just to finish off my drawing, what it's going to look like is a line is going to form the side of the cylinder from 0 up to the top, from 6 up to the top, and there's the top part of that cylinder. I'm looking in there at the edge. That edge there is actually a circular edge, but I'm looking straight in that way, so I see it as a line. Now, the difference here is I'm looking in, but that bottom part of the cylinder has been cut by a surface that's not horizontal, and that's why I have an ellipse to draw here. Now, we have to be moving kind of at a bit of a pace doing these questions. In an exam, you're only going to have about 30-35 minutes to do them because you have other questions to get to. So it's really important that you don't delay and that you practice and do these questions with speed in mind. You need to kind of hurry up a little bit. You can't be spending an hour doing these questions. You need to push on and get through them as quickly as you can. Okay, now at the back, and I'm running a little bit tight for time, there will be hidden detail to show the back of that cylinder from 0 around to 6. Okay, now you can go ahead and add that in yourself. I'm just running a little bit tight on time for my YouTube clip is going to or sorry, my video won't fit on YouTube if I keep going. It'll be a little bit too long. So there's my end view. Okay, so part A was draw your elevation. Part B was project the plan. Part C was to draw the end view. And we have shown that that surface there of the cylinder is cut by a sloped surface, which gives us, at the front, it gives us an ellipse. And you're going to continue that and finish that drawing at the back.